In an attempt to prepare more for the new HIS, I am completely moving towards typed orders through entry point. My colleagues have been ahead of me at this, especially Tim Saint-Amand. It's pretty simple. It actually saves time, does not add time, and I just wanted to show you how I am doing it, and it's working quite well. I am in the PCI chart of a patient. This is a test patient, so there's no actual information in here. And as always, before I see the patient, I've reviewed the triage note. I get into the chart where I would review the latest results, like this operative note, or I might go down and see their old health records, or their old oncology report, cardiovascular reports, or any of their labs or microbiology data. And now I'm ready to go see the patient. And before I go see the patient, I click on entry point. This takes me directly to entry point. It logs me in with my credentials, at least it should, yes it did, and opens up the main page at entry point. Now, the patient's already here, so I don't have to enter any patient information. You can search for orders here. All our orders start with ED or have ED in them. And the one I use is General Management Orderset. Once you start using it, it'll show up in your commonly used ones. And here it is right here. So I'm going to open it. This is automatically has the patient on it. It knows who I am. And I go in and see the patient. This is open on my laptop. As I go through the story, I'm making orders, so I need a urinalysis on this patient, I need a urine culture and sensitivity, I need a blood culture. For plain films, for example, I need a chest x-ray. And for a CT, let's say I'm going to do a CT renal colic. And then for fluids, I need to give them normal saline, I give them 1,000 ml bolus. If I need to give them over time, let's say 30 minutes or 1 hour. For example, and then if I need to give them after that some normal saline as well at 100 mils an hour. And then what we assess after 5 if I want to, 8 hours. Diet is tolerated. These are commonly used stuff in the emergency department, so I'm going to give them morphine, 5 milligrams IV every 3 hours, for example, and I'm going to give them some Tylenol, 650 milligrams orally or rectally, maybe ondansetron, 4 milligrams IV. And then if I have any other orders, for example, I want a post-void residual, let's say, and what else? Let's think of something else. Antibiotics, ceftriaxone, 1,000 milligram IV, and that's mostly what I want. At this point, I hit submit, and for only the first time you use the system, you have to set up a PIN, which is like your signature, and it automatically submits, opens a print dialog. As I'm walking out of the room, I choose the printer. Here, let me scare the people in RAS and print these orders for a 112-year-old lady. And there we go. Done. And that's it. Close that. I'm back to the patient's chart in PCI, and I'm ready to move on to our next patient. Here is some bonus contents about other commonly available order sets that you can use in the same way. This is the same test patient. Let me go back to entry point. And again, same story. It will log me in with my credentials as long as I've used single sign-on. And there you go. Patients already here. These are the ones I commonly use. So these are the ones I commonly use. Let me go through them. Practitioner order sets is just an empty blank order sheet where you can type whatever you want and then submit it. Discard. Let's take this out. Okay. There's a few other ones that I use. These I use very commonly. Interim admission order sets. For interim admission, it shortens the admission orders to about 2 minutes. That's all I need. It has everything that I need in it for the patient that I'm going to write interim orders for. We have a few other common ones I use. So this is the St. Catherine's gym rack referral. This is the emergency one that we talked about. The EPAC you're all familiar with. COPD I use a fair bit, and again, I'll show you what it contains. It has your basic COPD orders, including some antibiotic suggestions and some discharge instructions, and a page for you to add any other orders that you might have. DKA remains one of our highest used order sets. Inpatient transfer order sets. These are amazing. These are for all patients who are being transferred from one site to another, whether within the organization or outside. It makes everything easy for me. Where the patient's going, kind of transfer, who's getting them, instructions for the nurse for transport and for orders, and it has a space for other additional orders that I can do. Transfer accountability order set. Some of our docs use this a fair bit in handover. It's a great tool. Red blood cell transfusion. This has a lot of information about the indications, and you can use it not only as an aid in decision making, but also in terms of patient education. When you have the patients wanting 2 or 3 units of blood, you can use this to talk about the guidelines and the hospital practices. And there you go. As I said, all our ED order sets have open parentheses ED in them. And this is the list. So sepsis, syphilis treatment, ACS, COPD, stroke. This is used by the stroke team, DKA, general management, CHF, no medical reason to admit, opioid overdose, including Narcan drips, DVT-PE treatment, DKA in kids, STEMI, acute exacerbations of asthma, in the adult, acute exacerbations of asthma in the children, EPAC, rabies, post-exposure prophylaxis, makes life so much easier for you. Let's take a look at it. If you've never used it, it has everything you might need, including which numbers to call and how to get all the information. It's all on a single page right here. And what was the other one that I wanted to show you? I think it was the pediatric asthma. This is an amazing order set which includes the PRAM score, which we often forget to do, and guides you through the management of every patient, whether it's mild, moderate, or severe disease, and then has area for you to give other orders. And it even has some instructions for you on the rare occasions of very severe asthma where this information might be hard to come by in an acute emergency. Let me discard that, and I hope you find these helpful for you. I know that this will only be until early November, but all of these have been transported to the new HIS in one way or another, and we've added a lot more order sets that you can use to manage patients. Getting familiar with using them might help in the transmission, in making the transition much less stressful. I hope that you find this helpful.